The woman who raised Jordan for 18 years was about to kill him, and the only person who could save him was the sister he had thrown out of his house. But would she arrive in time? Or would Jordan die never knowing the truth about his family? Let's find out together, but first, please subscribe to my channel. Esther sat across from Jordan in his beautiful living room. Sunlight came through the big windows, but Jordan's face looked dark and angry. "I can't stop thinking about her," Jordan said, rubbing his head. "My so-called sister." Esther leaned forward, her voice soft and caring. "Jordan, you need to forget about Naomi. She's dangerous." Jordan's hands turned into fists. "You're right. A real sister would have found me years ago if she really cared." "Exactly. She waited until you were rich and successful. Then she came with her sob story about being homeless and hungry. She used your good heart against you." "I feel so stupid," Jordan said, his voice getting louder. "I actually believed her. I almost cancelled my wedding for a thief." Esther reached over and touched his arm. "You're not stupid. You're kind. And evil people like her use kindness as a weapon. She made me doubt Grandma Chen. The woman who raised me, loved me, gave me everything. How could I be so ungrateful?" "Because Naomi is a master manipulator. She probably practices her sad story on other rich people too. You're just one of many victims." Jordan stood up and started walking around the room. "I hate her. I hate that she made me question the only family I have left." But as Esther smiled and hugged him, she didn't know that Mrs. Chen was listening outside the door. And Mrs. Chen was planning something much worse than lies. That night, Mrs. Chen sat in her room, looking at a small bottle of clear liquid. She had bought it from a man who asked no questions and left no traces. 18 years of waiting, she whispered to herself. 18 years of pretending to love this boy. But now it's time to finish what I started. She opened the bottle and smelled it. Nothing. The poison had no smell, no taste, no color. Perfect. Jordan's parents were too smart. They discovered I was stealing from them. But their son, he's too trusting, too stupid. He'll never see this coming. Mrs. Chen looked at old photos of Jordan's real parents, rich, successful, kind people who had given her a job when she had nothing. "You should have paid me more," she said to the photos. "You should have treated me like family instead of just a servant. Now your son will pay for your mistakes." She put the poison in her pocket and went to sleep, dreaming of all the money she would have soon. The next morning, Jordan came down for breakfast like always. Mrs. Chen was in the kitchen making his favorite orange juice. "Good morning, my dear boy," she said sweetly. "How did you sleep?" "Better," Jordan said. "I think I'm finally getting over the whole Naomi situation." "That's wonderful. You deserve peace after what that terrible girl did to you." Mrs. Chen turned her back to Jordan and opened the poison bottle. 3 drops. That's all it would take. Not enough to kill him today, but enough to start making him sick. She stirred the juice and handed it to Jordan with a loving smile. "Drink up. You have a big day at work today." Jordan drank the whole glass. "Thanks, Grandma. You always take such good care of me." "Always, my dear, always." But inside, Mrs. Chen was thinking, "Soon you'll be dead, and everything you own will be mine." For 2 weeks, Mrs. Chen added poison to Jordan's food and drinks. Just a little bit each day. Jordan started feeling tired and sick, but he thought it was just stress from work. "Maybe I should see a doctor," he told Esther one evening. "Oh, it's probably just stress," Esther said quickly. "You've been through so much with your sister's betrayal. Your body is just tired." "You're probably right," but Jordan didn't know that Esther was starting to feel terrible about everything. When she looked at Jordan, really looked at him, she saw a good man, a kind man who had been hurt by the people he trusted most. And for the first time in 9 years, Esther realized she actually loved him. Not his money. Him. One morning, Jordan woke up early and went to the kitchen for water. His stomach hurt and he felt dizzy. That's when he saw Mrs. Chen standing by the counter with her back to him. She was holding a small bottle and putting drops into his morning juice. Jordan hid behind the door and watched. Mrs. Chen stirred the juice, looked around to make sure no one was watching, and then put the bottle in her pocket. Jordan's heart started beating fast. What was in that bottle? Why was Mrs. Chen adding it to his juice? He snuck back upstairs before she could see him. But all day he couldn't stop thinking about what he had seen. That evening he didn't drink his juice, and for the first time in weeks he didn't feel sick. Esther found Mrs. Chen in the garden the next day. "Aunt Chen, I need to talk to you." "What is it, dear?" "It's about Jordan. I think I'm starting to really love him." Mrs. Chen stopped watering her flowers. "What did you say?" "I know this wasn't part of the plan, but Jordan is such a good person, and after seeing how hurt he was by his sister, I feel terrible about lying to him." Mrs. Chen put down her watering can and looked at Esther with cold eyes. "You feel terrible? Do you know what I feel terrible about? Wasting 9 years training a weak little girl who can't do her job." "But Aunt Chen, no buts. You will marry Jordan, and you will help me get his money. That's what we planned, and that's what will happen. What if I don't want to anymore? What if I want to tell him the truth and start over?" Mrs. Chen grabbed Esther's arm so hard it hurt. "Listen to me carefully. If you betray me, I will tell the police that you were the one who stole Jordan's money. I will tell them you were the one who planned everything. You will go to prison for the rest of your life." Esther's eyes filled with tears. "You would do that to me, your own niece. I would do anything to get what I deserve. Now stop being weak and do your job." Mrs. Chen walked toward the house, then stopped and turned around. "Oh, and Esther, tonight you're going to give Jordan his evening drink. Don't ask questions, just do it." "What's in the drink?" "I said don't ask questions." But that evening, when Mrs. Chen handed Esther a glass of milk for Jordan, Esther could smell something strange in it. "Aunt Chen, what is this smell?" Mrs. Chen smiled in a way that made Esther's blood turn cold. "It's medicine, dear. Soon Jordan and you will be married, and right after the wedding he will die from a sudden illness. Very sad, very unexpected. And you, as his widow, will inherit everything." Esther dropped the glass, it crashed on the floor, and milk went everywhere. "You're poisoning him?" "I'm finishing what I started 18 years ago. His parents got in my way. Now he's getting in my way. But don't worry, after he's gone, we'll have more money than we ever dreamed of." Esther felt like she was going to be sick. "You're talking about murder." "I'm talking about justice. I worked for his family for years. I deserved more than they gave me. Now I'm taking what should have been mine all along. I can't do this. I won't help you kill Jordan." Mrs. Chen's face turned dangerous. "Yes, you will, because if you don't, I'll kill you too, and I'll make it look like Jordan did it before he died." Esther realized she was trapped. Mrs. Chen wasn't just greedy. She was evil, and she would kill anyone who got in her way. Jordan was getting sicker every day. His hands shook, his head hurt, he could barely eat. One morning, he made a decision that would change everything. He drove to the place where he knew Naomi might be, the old shelter downtown where homeless people got food. He found her serving soup to children. She looked tired and sad, but when she saw him, her eyes filled with hope. "Jordan, I need to talk to you," he said quietly. "Please." They walked to a quiet corner where no one could hear them. "I'm sick," Jordan said, "and I think Mrs. Chen is poisoning me." Naomi's face went white. "What?" "I saw her putting something in my juice, and every time I drink or eat what she gives me, I feel worse." "Oh my God, Jordan. We have to get you to a hospital." "No, first I need to know the truth, all of it. I'm ready to listen now." Naomi looked into her brother's eyes and saw the little boy she used to protect. "Are you sure? Because once I tell you everything, there's no going back." "I'm sure." So Naomi told him everything. About their parents' business, about Mrs. Chen being just a housekeeper, about the investigation that was covered up, about the evidence she had found. She showed him the letters Mrs. Kim had saved, the photos from their childhood, the police reports that proved Mrs. Chen had lied about everything. Jordan read every word, looked at every photo, and with each piece of evidence, his heart broke a little more. "She killed our parents," he whispered. "Yes. She's been lying to me for 18 years. Yes. And she's trying to kill me now. Yes. Jordan looked at his sister, his real sister, and tears ran down his face. Naomi, I'm so sorry. I said such terrible things to you. I chose her over you. I called you a street rat. Jordan, stop. You were manipulated. She had 18 years to fill your head with lies. It's not your fault. But I should have listened to you. I should have looked at the evidence you brought. You weren't ready then. But you're ready now. And that's what matters. Jordan hugged his sister for the first time in 18 years. Come home with me, he said. Help me confront them. Help me get justice for our parents. But Naomi shook her head. No, Jordan, this is something you have to do. If I'm there, Mrs. Chen will just say I'm manipulating you again. You have to be the one to stand up to her. But what if she tries to hurt me? Then you fight back. You're not a little boy anymore, Jordan. You're a grown man who finally knows the truth. Use that power. Jordan looked at his sister with new respect. After everything she had been through, homelessness, hunger, rejection, she was still strong enough to guide him toward justice. What should I do? Go home, confront both of them, record everything they say, make them confess, and then call the police. What about you? I'll be watching. If you need me, I'll be there. But this is your fight now, brother. Jordan went home with a secret recording device in his pocket. He felt scared, but also angry. 18 years of lies, the murder of his parents, the attempted murder of him. It was time for the truth. He found Mrs. Chen and Esther in the living room, talking quietly. We need to talk, Jordan said. His voice was different, stronger. Of course, dear, Mrs. Chen said with her fake sweet smile. How are you feeling? You look a bit pale. I'm feeling poisoned. The room went silent. Esther's face went white. Mrs. Chen tried to keep smiling, but Jordan could see fear in her eyes. What a strange thing to say, Mrs. Chen said. Are you feeling okay? Maybe you should rest. I saw you, Jordan said, this morning, putting something in my juice. What was it? Mrs. Chen's smile finally disappeared. I don't know what you're talking about. Really? Then you won't mind if we call the police and have them test my blood? See what kind of poison you've been giving me? Esther started crying. Jordan, I tried to stop her. I wanted to tell you. Shut up, Mrs. Chen snapped at Esther. Then she looked back at Jordan. You don't understand. Everything I did was for you, for us, for our family. Our family? Jordan laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. You mean the family where you murdered my parents and lied to me for 18 years? Mrs. Chen's eyes went wide. How do I know? Because my sister told me. My real sister, the one you tried to make me hate. Naomi is a liar. No, Jordan shouted. You are the liar. You were never my grandmother. You were just our housekeeper. You killed my parents because they found out you were stealing from them. Mrs. Chen realized her lies were falling apart. Her fake sweetness disappeared completely. So what if I did? She said coldly. Your parents treated me like dirt. They had everything, and I had nothing. I worked for them for years, and what did I get? A small salary and a tiny room in their big house. So you murdered them. I took what should have been mine, and I raised you better than they ever could have. You raised me with lies. I raised you with love. I gave you everything. And this is how you repay me. Esther was still crying. Jordan, she made me help her. She threatened to kill me if I didn't. I said shut up, Mrs. Chen screamed at Esther. But then Jordan heard something that made his heart stop. Actually, Mrs. Chen said with an evil smile, it doesn't matter anymore. Even if you know the truth, you can't do anything about it. The poison I've been giving you has already damaged your heart. You'll be dead within a month. You're lying. Am I? Haven't you been feeling weak, dizzy, having trouble breathing? That's your heart slowly stopping, dear boy. Jordan felt scared, but he also felt angry. Angrier than he had ever been in his life. You know what the best part is? Mrs. Chen continued. After you die, Esther will inherit everything as your grieving fiancé. And then we'll be rich beyond our wildest dreams. No, Esther said suddenly. I won't do it anymore. I love Jordan, really love him. I won't help you kill him. Mrs. Chen turned to her niece with murder in her eyes. You ungrateful little brat, after everything I've done for you, You've done nothing but use me, just like you used Jordan, just like you used his parents." Mrs. Chen was getting desperate. She could see everything falling apart. "Fine, she said. "If I can't have the money, then no one can." She reached into her purse and pulled out a gun. Jordan and Esther both stepped back in terror. "You're all going to die," Mrs. Chen said calmly, "and I'll tell the police that Jordan went crazy and killed Esther before shooting himself. Very tragic. Very believable." She pointed the gun at Jordan first. "Goodbye, you stupid boy. You should have just died quietly like a good little victim." But just as Mrs. Chen was about to pull the trigger, Esther did something no one expected. She threw herself in front of Jordan. Bang! The gun went off. Esther fell to the ground, blood spreading across her chest. "Esther!" Jordan screamed, dropping to his knees beside her. Mrs. Chen stared at the gun in her hands, shocked. She had killed her own niece. "Esther, stay with me," Jordan begged. "Please, stay with me." Esther looked up at Jordan with tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry for everything. For lying to you, for helping her, for—" "Don't apologize. Just stay alive, please." "Jordan," Esther said, her voice getting weaker, "I need you to know something. For the last few months, my feelings became real. I really fell in love with you, not your money. You, your kindness, your heart. Esther, she poisoned you, she killed your parents, she planned everything. I helped her for 9 years, but in the end I chose you. I chose love over money." Jordan was crying now. "You saved my life, and you saved my soul," Esther whispered. "I was becoming just like her, but you reminded me what it feels like to be good. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Take care of Naomi. She's the only real family you have left. And Jordan, yes? Forgive me. Please forgive me." "I forgive you," Jordan said, holding her hand. "I forgive you completely." Esther smiled one last time. "Thank you," she breathed, and then she was gone. Mrs. Chen stood frozen, staring at what she had done. She had killed the only person who had truly helped her, the only person who had loved her despite her evil plans. "Look what you made me do," she screamed at Jordan. "This is your fault. If you had just died quietly, none of this would have happened." But before she could point the gun at Jordan again, the front door burst open. Security guards rushed in, followed by police officers. "Drop the weapon," they shouted. Mrs. Chen looked around wildly. She was trapped. "This wasn't supposed to happen," she cried. "I planned everything perfectly. The boy was supposed to die. I was supposed to get the money." She tried to run, but the security guards caught her easily. As the police put handcuffs on her, Mrs. Chen kept screaming, "I deserve that money. I worked for it. I sacrificed everything for it. Those parents of his were going to fire me. They were going to ruin my life. I had no choice." "You had a choice," said a voice from the doorway. Everyone turned. Naomi stood there, having heard everything. "You could have chosen to be honest. You could have chosen to find another job. You could have chosen not to murder innocent people." Mrs. Chen looked at Naomi with pure hatred. "This is all your fault. If you hadn't come back, everything would have worked perfectly." "No," Naomi said calmly, "this is all your fault. You chose greed over love. You chose lies over truth. You chose murder over life." As the police dragged Mrs. Chen away, she kept screaming about money and revenge and how unfair life was. But no one was listening anymore. Jordan knelt beside Esther's body, still holding her hand. The woman who had lied to him for 9 years had died saving his life. "I don't understand anything anymore," he said to Naomi. "You don't have to understand everything right now," Naomi said gently. "You just have to heal. She loved me. At the end, she really loved me. Yes, she did. And that love made her brave enough to save you." Jordan looked at his sister. "I'm so sorry, Naomi. I wasted 18 years hating you for things you didn't do. I chose the people who wanted to hurt me over the sister who wanted to save me." "Jordan, no, let me finish. You lived on the streets while I lived in luxury. You went hungry while I ate fancy food. You were alone while I had fake family, and when you tried to help me, I threw you out like garbage." Naomi knelt down beside her brother. "Jordan, look at me." He looked up, tears streaming down his face. "I forgive you," she said, "completely, totally, forever." "How can you forgive me after everything I said to you?" "Because you're my brother, because I love you." And because forgiveness is the only thing that can heal us both. Jordan hugged his sister tightly. I love you too. I never stopped loving you, even when I thought I hated you. But suddenly, Jordan felt a sharp pain in his chest. His heart started beating strangely. Naomi, he gasped. Something's wrong. He collapsed, clutching his chest. Jordan, Naomi screamed. The poison Mrs. Chen had been giving him for weeks had damaged his heart. The stress of everything that had happened was too much. Call an ambulance, Naomi yelled to the police. As the paramedics worked on Jordan, he looked up at his sister one last time. I'm sorry it took me so long to find my way back to you, he whispered. Don't you dare say goodbye to me, Naomi said fiercely. We just found each other again. You don't get to leave me now. But Jordan's eyes closed, and the heart monitor went flat. The paramedics worked frantically as they rushed him to the ambulance. Is he going to be okay? Naomi asked, running alongside the stretcher. We don't know, the paramedic said honestly. His heart is very damaged. He's in a coma. The next few days will tell us everything. Will Jordan survive the poison and wake up from his coma? Can Naomi save the brother she just got back? And what will happen to Mrs. Chen when she faces justice for murder? The most emotional part of their story is still to come. If you're on the edge of your seat, waiting to see what happens next, smash that subscribe button and let us know in the comments. Do you think Jordan will survive? Your support keeps this incredible story going.